That's important. The other thing too is that when it comes to the 24-hour economy policy program, we believe that it's going to be the strongest catalyst. And he says it's going to be under his direct supervision. Very important. The other issue, and I want to name this one, the free university academic fees for first year student. Very key. And when
so meanwhile, they are not going to pay academic user facility fees?
No, academic fees is different from academic user. That one is just a small component. Okay. So once you are given your 2,000 cedis to pay, government of Ghana is going to give that money to the student loan trust to give to the universities as grants. As grant, complete, done, and dusted. And we are saying that we do not also want to affect the university's ability to do what they call internally generated fund. We will not undermine that at all. The other thing that I want all of us to look at is that, look, in every household, you have a mother who is an entrepreneur. But capital formation and acquiring capital by women is extremely difficult. Because mostly, the people who have the collateral tend to be the men in the family. So we are coming out with the Women National Development Bank. And the essence of this bank is to ensure that women get the needed facility. In fact,
National Women Development Bank.
Yes. If you look at our population structure, women top the highest. Meanwhile, in terms of economic empowerment, they suffer. So this is a tailor-made program for our women. Then the issue of leveraging on technology. The 1 million coders program. If you look at our 2020 manifesto, it featured prominently. I noticed that the MPP, for the first time in their manifesto this time, have decided to copy what we did. But that's fine. We believe in sharing ideas.
Well, I'll ask Arena whether that's true.
So that's perfectly okay for us. Now, he's also said that within that 120 days, this number of taxes are going to be what? Scrapped, abolished. No libi-libi, no laba-laba. One, e-levy. And if you recall, as early as April 2022, at Kempiski, H. John Dramani Mahama made a promise that I am going to abolish the obnoxious e-levy that Akufo-Addo and Bawumia introduced against all resistance. They said, no, we will do it. Whether you like it or not, we will introduce e-levy. John Mahama is going to abolish it too. The betting tax, he is going to abolish it. Very, very important tax that we need to abolish. In fact, when I speak to the investors out there, I call them investors. They will tell you.
Who are the investors?
The bettors.
Okay. The patrons.
Yes, they are called investors. And they will tell you that they do not understand why Akufo-Addo had failed to provide them job. He had failed to provide them opportunities. And the little money they get from their bet, he wants to take 10% out of it. The other thing is the obnoxious COVID-19 levy. Do you know that today, effectively, VAT is now 21%. In fact, if you do the output VAT, it's almost 22%. Now, if for restaurants and hotels, if you even add the tourism levy, that's almost 23%. These things are killing businesses slowly.
Edudzi, that's a key consideration. And I did ask some questions of some economists, because at the end of the day, you've gone to the IMF, and this pact is going to transition if the NDC should win or not, or if it's the same MPP government being Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, where you have come into some arrangements with the Bretton Woods institution based on what your projections are on revenue collection. Now you say that you are taking these revenues off. What are going to be the substitutions, or what are the trade-offs?
Okay, so you must always understand that an IMF program is not cast in iron.
Okay.
The IMF programs are always subject to review. And so, you can always speak to the IMF. And you see, they are interested in protecting their investment. But they do not also want to suffer issues relative to governance. And so it's a matter of sitting down. The only challenge is that this particular IMF program was negotiated at the time where the economy had collapsed. So the terms are onerous. That is significantly different from many of the IMF programs. So you're saying
there could be variations?
Absolutely. Right. And these are people who understand. So just to wrap up on
I'll give you 30 seconds on that.
So H.E. John Dramani Mahama is talking about immediate economic recovery. Now, what is also key is the question of accountability. The pervasive corruption, the maladministration, the PDS, the spare parts, the ambulance spare parts, where the president's direct family member and son-in-law gets over $34 million contract. Now, do you know that the city equivalent of that $34 million, okay, is enough to pay the first year fees? Do you know that? Today, we are saddled to pay almost $130-something million to a company called Trafiguera for that obnoxious termination of the GPGC contract. That money alone is over 1.something billion.
So you're talking about prosecutions, actually.
Beyond that, recovery. And that is where John Mahama is coming out with the oral operation recover all looted assets. That is
oral is what? Operation recover
all loots.
Mr. Mohammed, at the end of the day, you also have brought your manifesto assessment so far. Well, the consensus out there said the vice president did well. Others to say that he could have done better.
How many minutes do I have?
You have 4 minutes on this, please.
Thank you.
With all due respect, 4 minutes strictly.
Thank you. First of all, Parliament of Ghana passed what is known as the Emissions Levy Act 2023. That act was assented to by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. In fact, Act 1112 is still in our statute books. Assented to. H.E. John Dramani Mahama is saying that we don't need this law. It must not be in our statute books. What is it that you don't understand? Has this law not been passed and assented to? That's the most important question.
The tax is not in implementation.
I beg you, it's a tax, it's a law. The other issue is that he calls our manifesto copy-festo, suggesting that it is a copied product. Then at the same time, he says it is empty. So did we copy an empty manifesto? I mean, sometimes the logic is so terribly poor that you don't know how to even proceed.
You're saying that they say because
it says our manifesto
and he
is
refers
copied.
to it as empty.
And
so you mean that you copied an
empty manifesto. How is that even possible?
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's performance, please.
Now, you see, we have also indicated in our manifesto that one of the things that unsettle homes is the issue of fertility. So we are going to build a specialized 500-bed children hospital and fertility hospital. Look, if you look at homes and what the issues of fertility have done to people, you have no end. The hospitals that do these things, the cost of doing it is beyond the reach of most households. H.E. John Dramani Mahama, as sympathetic as he is saying that this is what we need to do. We have also indicated in our manifesto that if you're a tertiary student about to move from secondary school and start your tertiary education from January, we have good news for you. That good news is that all you need to do is to buy your books and many other things and just go to classroom and start learning once you have your admission letter. In fact, all you need to access the free tertiary academic fees thing is what we call your admission letter and your admission letter. So, young people, we have good news for you. Get ready to have tertiary education, whether the polytechnics or technical universities, the colleges of education, and most importantly, the tertiary institution, I mean the universities as well. So get ready. Now you see, Roland, you've been trying to, as it were, tease me into a conversation I have always maintained. And this morning, I witnessed an encounter between you and Haruna.
Which is what?
You asked a very simple question. Who is the chair of the economic management team? He says, Dr. Bawumia. You heard him?
Sure, I asked a question.
Good. Then you asked him. The man says, I have proposed 33 policies and implemented them. He said that. Then at the same time, he said, no, he's only the chair of the economic management team. And that they don't take policy initiatives. So you see, when you have such a person,
it says they propose.
I beg you. So they only propose.
Yes.
But the person
what he
says,
said was that they propose.
Yes, but the man himself is saying that I have implemented 33 policies. He even mentioned gold for oil, and that it is his initiative. How then do you want to have a conversation with such people?
Why
They
not?
approbate and reprobate. The key issue is that we are in an economic mess orchestrated by Dr. Bawumia and his boss. It is that economic mess that H.E. John Dramani Mahama is coming to solve. So you see, in 2016, a group of people packaged themselves as problem solvers. This morning, we are thinking of how to solve them as the problem. So they
I
came.
understand. You are thinking of
How to solve? You see, they came as problem solvers. After 7 years, 8 months, they have become the problem we are looking for solution to solve.
okay.
Is it not curious, my brother, that 61 billion Ghana cedis,
You have a minute.
yes, of ordinary people's money, 61 billion, had been taken away through a painful haircut supervised by Bawumia and his boss. Middle class income completely wiped away. So my focus this morning is not to give credence to any useless conversation, because the problem of Ghana is there too. And that is why H.E. John Dramani Mahama said, a vote for Bawumia is a vote for the third term of Mr. Akufo-Addo. And Ghanaians cannot afford that painful experience again. So I want to urge the totality of our people that December 7, 2024, present a unique opportunity to reset Ghana for progress, for job, and for accountability. If you want accountability, I urge you all, come on board.
Mr. Haruna Mohammed.
Yes, Roland.